you really want to do something rather than, as per what you said, procrastination. So
Yeah,
that way
yeah.
it just depends on you.
And there's a book right now. I'm reading the book of Tim Ferriss, The 4 Hour Work Week. He said that it's better to focus on your strength than working on your weaknesses, because if you work on your weaknesses, the result will just be mediocre.
Right.
So might
True.
as well focus on your strengths.
Right.
So these are the opportunities for IT tech design editing. Uh, Next slide. Digital marketing. Digital marketing is really one of the areas where people are needed. So search engine optimization, pay-per-click, traffic, lead generation, affiliated marketing, and email marketing. So if you're good with writing, although it's in this area, but you can also apply for email marketing. So for writing, if you're good with blogging, ghostwriting, technical writing, copywriting is like putting words into putting words into the written form,
Right.
and at the end of that, it's like a sale or a call to action to client. I actually learned this copywriting from a client, and I've used that, and it really went well, because copywriting would help you to make the reader make an action. So it can be
True.
sales, it can be whatever, and then the good thing is that I was able to use it in writing cover letters, because I was able to get a client to say yes. So that's really important. You can also do book review and self. If you're really good at it, you can might as
Right.
well use self. You have a self-published ebook.
Yeah.
So
Also,
that's really
Ruth, about digital marketing, I guess nowadays it's a trend. Like a lot of people are reading more about it, like most probably SEOs and other digital marketing tools. So one of our participants, attendees, also mentioned about digital garage, which I believe like that Google has performed, like made it. It's something really good. We are we are like me specifically. If you see it, like I'm going through it. I'm going through the courses, which is like really interesting. You understand more about what digital marketing is and how exactly it's going to help you, your company as well, and how you can promote it well if you're really interested in that part. So the
yeah.
attendees, they can actually go through that Google. It's like a free port, but the hours are more. You have to attend that session for like 48 to 60 hours, I guess. So I've just
Mhm.
reached like 10 hours till now, so that way it's
Yeah.
really good. About
And digital
writing,
marketing is here to stay.
I'm
It's
sorry.
here to stay. Digital marketing is here to stay. It
Yeah.
will not go away. So yeah, might as well, if you're interested in doing that, you can look into that as well.
Yeah,
And
true.
then let's move
So,
on.
Ruth, what do you think
There's
about
also,
the, okay, sorry.
sorry, go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
I was just talking about like some channels for, just like what we mentioned about Google. So moving forward, like Google is one of the places where we learn something out of it. Like, what do you think about how we can apply for these jobs, and our attendees, they actually can go to some portals where they can apply.
Yeah, yeah. There is actually a slide later on about where
Okay.
they can find work. So online teaching, I thought because this is the easiest when I was starting, I thought maybe I can go into this route. So I even paid for the TOEFL certification, and middle of the certification, I stopped because I was dragging myself to
Okay.
complete it. So
Right.
my money was gone. And if you're good with numbers or accounting, you can there's actually opportunities for small businesses. They're looking for accounting and bookkeeping. So maybe data
that
entry.
that goes for us as well. Just like an example here again, that rather than doing something on our own, so what we have done also, like we have seen some people, some freelancers, some communities members, like who are really good with this about accounting and bookkeeping. So like I wasn't that great, and I could see like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. So somehow we understood, and somehow we got to know someone from our community member, they are really good with accounts. So now that person is specifically taking care of our accounting. So that way I think like our company, like other companies here also, like they can see, and people can apply for these jobs and can go online and they can get to know what exactly they're good at, they can apply for these things.
And let me just correct that. Instead of applying, reach out and offer your service. So don't treat it as an employment, but treat it as you are offering your service to the
Okay.
client.
All right.
So in that way, you already have the leverage that you are the one who knows to do that.
Right. It's just like how the
So,
way you are approaching the person. And
exactly. Because if you, like, I'm a job seeker, I would feel that the person hiring is more superior than I am. But in this case, you really have to change your mindset that you are offering your service as someone who knows how to do it.
right.
And then we can also you can also look into social media management. This is important for the events people. So we, aside from that, we can also have the social media management, Facebook ads. Facebook in the website itself, I mean the Facebook business, they offer free modules for Facebook ads.
Right.
And there's a lot of people being hired for this position alone. And also for, like, for example, myself, event coordination, I put it under product management. So if you're good with coordination, where you're good with communication, you can, there's actually a lot of ways to use that and find jobs where you can or find opportunities where you can offer those services. So like, for example, I'm seeing a lot of real estate agents or brokers that they're looking for someone who can handle transaction coordination for them.
Okay.
Transaction coordination is that you are looking for someone who wants to sell their house, and you will help them to finish the entire process. So
Right.
if you're good with coordination, might as well look into that opportunity.
True. All right. Like,
So if still you're not sure what you want to do, if you speak multiple language, maybe you can look into translations or transcription.
that
So
that
that's
way we had a my friend, like she asked about, she has a digital media platform, so she helps companies SEOs and content writing. So they asked me about, like, do you know, because you're dealing with a lot of freelancers, do you know anyone who can work with me for a specific project to just translate from English to Arabic? So that way, I guess, like, if all our freelancers are our community members, they understand their personal skills, they are good at it, so I think they can actually push themselves and understand, like, no, I'm okay, I'm a student of chemical engineering or anything, or I'm doing a full-time job, but other than that also I can earn some extra bucks or can do these things. Maybe like I'm traveling in a metro or I'm flying as well at the airport, I'm there, so I can use these skills and do Facebook ads, posting for someone, content writing. So it's like everyone has that thing, but it's just like we don't utilize that, or just keep thinking about it, I guess.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. So there's really a lot of opportunities for us, a lot of doors of opportunities for us. All we need to do is just open it. So let's move forward with, I want to know, it's not working with me. So have you heard or used Zoom before the pandemic? I want to know.
um, from my side, to be frank, yeah, I knew about it, but I was not expecting that I'm gonna use it in the near future. And I was like, I'm not too sure, because most of the time, like, most of the softwares in the UAE, like Skype and other platforms, they are not being easily like user friendly, and they don't want to. So that way we say, like, majority, and it's all says yes, 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 yes and no. I was living under a rock.
Don't worry who says I was living under a rock. It's fine. Actually, Zoom has been in the market since 2011, I think, but people are not using it because there are other ways to communicate. And
Right.
then now, almost everyone is using Zoom. So what does it tell us? It only tells us that the journey of Zoom is not overnight. So us as online freelancers, it's not easy. But
Yeah.
one day, what we're doing will really be something amazing, like Zoom.
Right. Like one of the guys, he says, like, yeah, like I did here too, but didn't expect it to be like a huge, massive. Like just talk about this, the founder of this, like going from 10 million users, which was like 2019 December, and 300 million users just in March. So like how exactly the jump was, and now how different companies like Google, they introduced Meet, and Facebook, they are creating their own virtual meetings platforms. So that way, yeah,
Exactly.
technology does play a role. We never know what happens tomorrow. So I think like we all have to be on point, understanding each other, like learning every single day. So that way, like you're just showing up these tools, Zoom.
These are the tools that might help you in working remotely. So not necessarily you have to learn all of them. It really depends on the client that you will be working on. But like, for example, this four here, Zoom, Google Meets, GoToMeeting, and WebEx, there are teleconferencing, like the one we're using right now. Slack, that's actually for team communication. MS Office and Google Suite, it's like,
Dropbox,
and
yeah.
even Dropbox, it's like more on sharing. Twilio, it's for productivity as well as Asana, and GitHub. So GitHub is actually common to designers, graphic designers, more of the designer
Asana.
section.
Okay. All right.
And then PayPal. PayPal is you have to know PayPal because majority of the payments in remote work is via PayPal.
Oh.
So let's talk about payment. This is really important. Oops. So in remote work, the common currency used is in US dollars. So when I was still in Dubai, I got a client who works in Dubai and his business is in Dubai as well. So when he hired me, he still paid me in US dollars. So the
Mhm.
dollar, US dollars is like the language of remote work. So regardless where you are, I had a client who lives in Australia. Still, she paid me in dollars. So the common platform, payment platform, we have PayPal, we have TransferWise, and for sure there would be a lot more out there.
Coming over. I know, Ruth,
Yeah,
there's a question, like, I know I'm just going out of the topic about, but it's kind of payments. Like you said, like PayPal and TransferWise is there, but do you think just like, it's just a thought about cryptocurrency or like Bitcoins coming into this? Do you think it can come, or you might have heard about from working remotely from some clients?
there are actually some who have started. So I'm not gonna say it will not come. Maybe
Okay.
it's already out there. It's
Okay.
already out there. It just depends on the country, I guess.
Can
So for sure, in the UAE, it will be there anytime soon, even sooner than when we expected.
Yeah, it's already
So,
there though, but like towards the payment terms, I guess everyone, they are going digital rather than just having the hard cash. So that way, I think like it's more people will
correct.
understand about money wise.
So
All
the
right,
digital money,
right?
we're talking about digital money. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
completely
that's
different.
why it's really nice to really jump into the digital world and really understand how it works. So also rate can be hourly or per project depending on the role or the task that you will have. There's
Mhm.
also a possibility if you accept a per project, might as well ask for a deposit or a prepayment. Because for example, I'm the client and I need someone who can work on the web design of my company. And then you accept it without anything. And then when you have completed it, I'm gone. So to protect yourself, you have to set your payment terms as well. That's what I'm saying. In this kind of work lifestyle, you have a say. You have a
Okay.
say on terms. You have a say on the role. Unlike if you are being hired as someone for like in the office, sometimes you
Yeah.
don't have a say. So also the rate range, it really varies. Depends on the role, depends on the task. So it really varies. And it's up to you to really research on it. And of course, I want you to instead of accepting it based on the rate, might as well look into the value that you can give to your client and say that that is your rate instead of waiting and
So
then
is it
negotiate.
like for, like you said, like set up your value, set up your rate. Does it mean like it goes as per the ratings, or somehow the client might not know about our work? So how exactly we can set
Yeah,
up
you can
that?
do that. Yeah, of course you have to research what's the acceptable or the rate range in the market. Glassdoor is actually offering rate ranges, but
Okay.
it depends on the role. Um, yeah, and sometimes I've seen this already. Clients are asking, how much is your rate? So it's
Okay.
like you are the first one to say it. But of course, you don't charge a skyrocket price.
But sometimes
You
we
might
don't understand like how much we should charge for a job. So like, are there any like portals which actually educate the freelancers, or educate us like how, in what way we should apply for jobs and what rates should be there for specific jobs?
I've seen one in Glassdoor. I have used the one in Glassdoor.
Okay.
For sure, there are still some, and I also, because I'm part of Facebook groups, so I can see the range how much it is.
Okay.
So that's really important. So yeah, where can I learn new skills? So these are the websites where you can learn new skills. It doesn't mean that these are the only websites. For sure, there's still a lot. And I'd suggest to go for the uh, free learning kits first before going to the paid ones. Because
Okay.
if you would go to the paid ones, most often than not, they already have an advanced
The courses, learning
yeah,
tips.
advanced courses or advanced way of teaching. So if you're really new to this environment, you might have a hard time really adapting. So there's a lot. Yeah. So everyone in the group are sharing. This is really good because it seems that everyone's really sharing what they know, right? This is what
Right.
I want to have in this session, to have an interaction and sharing what we know. So let's so yeah, there. So do you know any job portals to find remote work at the moment? For sure some of you knows.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
something
I
you
just
think like
want to
you're
say
learning
I
from.
used Duolingo as well when I was learning Italian and Spanish, but since I don't have anyone to practice, so yeah, Duolingo is good.
I haven't used that.
You can try it if you want to learn something new.
Is it basically for the languages, or
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah.
course? So majority of them are like, we don't know the portal. So that way I think like this can be something really interesting for them to understand like how and where they can go and opt for more
So
jobs.
so once you already know or you figure out what skills you're good at and you still want to enhance it, you already know where to look for the website for the learning, then it's the time to look for the job. Oops, there. So Upwork, this is one of the largest. I've used Upwork when I was starting. The good thing about Upwork is that you are protected. The client and yourself is protected. We are protected because in case the client will not pay, there would be like a dispute process or whatnot. So it's really good to look into Upwork. Indeed, I've seen some posts in Indeed, Fiverr, LinkedIn, people per hour, Glassdoor, and Facebook. So why I put Facebook here is that if you're really interested in here, there are groups in Facebook that you can join where they post the openings.
Yeah.
So you can look into this. So these are not the only job portals. There are still a lot out there. So you can definitely look into that.
There's like some specific, one of the guys he mentioned about exporting and freelancers. So Ruth, just to add up to here, like these two platforms, the freelancer.com and exporting, they are mainly for like freelancers like us, like SEOs, like small jobs, and can also include events jobs as well. Not a lot, but like specifically, yes. And I think like freelance and exporting, they're like coming up more faster than Upwork.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of us like who are working, who are staying in UAE can actually opt for these portals, and it can be like really, really helpful.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And there's also remote upwork.com website. Actually, I got 2 clients from Dubai through Upwork. So just letting you know.
Upwork is
So
like the most important, the old ones, and that's why like everyone knows about it. Yeah, and the payment
yeah,
terms of them is like really good. That's why yeah, it's good. Yeah. All right.
so we're actually nearing the end, but
Yeah.
I just
And
want to share with you. Hopefully, you've learned something from me. So I just want to share some tips with you, which helped me to land a full-time remote job, which is event coordination. My client is in Canada, and I have another side client. She's in the US. So the first important thing is if you don't have yet, create a standout email address. Because if the people you're sending emails to don't know you, the first thing they would look at is the email address. So yeah, make sure that you have that. Next is to have a unique cover letter. If the position or the role already put the requirements, use those requirements and put it in your cover letter and explain how you can resolve those. Most often than not, clients would read your cover letter, especially if you provide solution to what their issues are.
okay.
So number 3, old style CV is out, well-designed CV or video CV is in. It means that gone are the days of having 5 pages of CV. They will not read it. Again, Vas said that best experience is not important anymore. So next is be selective, be creative. Not because you're not sure of what you can offer, you will just send your CV to 100 clients.
Right.
No, you have the right to select. You have the right to be creative. You have to really have a strategy.
Right.
And that's why it helped me, because when everyone's doing in this level, I think of a way how can I be in this level. So
Right.
if you see, like for example, in Upwork, you see that there's already, let's say, 500 proposals submitted. Are you going to submit to that?
No.
Maybe. But
Maybe.
I would say go for something that you're the first one, or at least in the first 10, if it really fits your skills.
Do you think the subject line also matters a lot when we are sending the
Yes, of course it
CV
is.
to a
It is.
client?
But then to read the email or the post of the client, because sometimes there are clients who would put the subject line at the bottom.
Right.
So there are like clients that if you have read all of these, put, let's say, I'm your superstar coordinator in the subject.
Yeah.
If you miss
Okay.
that, you
Yeah.
will not
Not get
be
the
considered.
get the thing.
They
Okay.
really have to read. So
All right.
next is do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to ask the client or recruiter. So for example, there are things that you are not clear or you do not understand. It's always good to ask. And you'd be surprised, clients are really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying our bosses in the office are not cool. It's just that there are things that you would be surprised that you are stiff, because that's how you act when you're in the office or you are in the corporate world. But
Right.
honestly, there are clients who are lenient. So don't be hard on yourself. And then last is make sure you're protected if something goes wrong. This is what I'm saying. You have to be aware of scammers. So
Right.
if there's a way to have an agreement, there's already an option to do a digital signature, or if you can go to the portal where um, you have to sign up and you really have to, there's like Upwork. I'm not um, telling you to go to Upwork, but I'm saying is portals like Upwork protects the client as well as the freelancer.
Right.
So if you're not yet that confident that you can get a good client, you might as well go into those portals first.
I have a small question with this. As per what you said, make sure you're protected. So, are these jobs like whenever you're doing freelancing job, the client asks money from us? Uh,
That's a good question. The client should never ask you money.
Okay.
The client should never ask for money because they need someone to work for them.
Right.
The legit client should never ask for money. So don't give anything, like don't give your account number or give money to that person. It's not legit.
Okay. Thank
And
you. Yeah.
and if you feel that the opening or the details is too good to be true, then follow your gut feel. It's not true.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ruth, for this.
So I just want to share quickly the things that I submitted to these two clients that I mentioned earlier. So let me just go to the next slide.
Yeah.
It's really small, I'm sorry, but I just want to highlight. So I mentioned about create an email address that is creative. So I used your.remote.executive@gmail.com. And then I said it. So my client, when I first, the response of my client here, the first line, she said, wow, that's a great email. So it's like that instantly she noticed my email without even looking at it, without even looking whether I'm a fit for the job. So that's important. You have to create a creative email, something that can catch the attention of your client. So let's say you're into technology. You can use I'm your chosen IT guy, something like that. It's like already putting a seed in their mind that you are the next employee that they're, or the next freelancer they're going to hire.
Right.
And of course, you have to include your LinkedIn profile. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, please make sure to update it.
Yeah. About LinkedIn, like I just want to like pop in up here that soon we'll be having a LinkedIn session as well, webinar as well. Just waiting for the date of the speaker to be there. So someone who's working in LinkedIn and they're gonna present like how LinkedIn is really important in their life, like everyone's life these days, because a lot of recruiters, a lot of like some investors also are looking for people who are there in LinkedIn and their profiles and how they are active in there. So that, yeah, that way it's like really good, and that webinar is
It's
gonna come up.
interesting. Yeah, I wanna join that because honestly, since I work remotely, I haven't updated my LinkedIn. And a good question from Pratna, I think she asked whether to have a detail. So I explained why my cover letter is like this. The position, this role, I saw it in a Facebook group. So the invitation to apply is not formal as well. There's no specific requirements. It's not, it's like just a friend looking for help. So
Okay.
that's why my cover letter is not as detailed and it's just very light. And it's a good thing because if you notice, it was in 2018. Until now, I'm still working with this client. This is my client from the US as a side gig. So
That's
it's
good.
really important to have that a conversation, a good relationship with the client.
So that means like it goes as per the, if you have relation with that person, so specific one, short one can go, and just in case if that that client we don't know and we just looked up for somewhere else and we have to give a brief just about who we are.
And you would really know that based on the voice of their message,
Right.
the way they write it. If it's friendly kind of message, then you can respond in a friendly tone as well. Because if I responded in a professional way of email, I might sound stiff.
Right.
So you
True.
really have to follow the pattern of how it is written.
Right.
So that's a good question. I have an example for that. Next slide. There. So I'm sorry, it's really small. So to answer Pratna's question earlier, so this one, the post for this role, the event coordinator, if you notice the title, I'm your superstar events coordinator, because in that position, at the last part of that message,
Job.
in
Yeah.
their message, they said, you have to write, I'm your superstar events coordinator. And
Okay.
then if you notice, I highlighted in here, this highlighted or in block messages, these are actually the requirements of exact words of the client. So I copied them, and then I put how can how I did it in the past.
Okay.
So it's like I'm telling them, okay, you're looking for this. This is what I've done or what I can do. So like right there and then you're telling them, here's how we are going to do it. So this is the same way I mentioned earlier to follow the tone of the client. So this client, they put all the details, all the requirements in a professional tone. That's why I answered by email in a professional tone as well.
All right. I
And
think that really
actually,
matters.
this is a good thing because this client, they opened this position in April 2018. I reached the final interview via Zoom, but during that time, UAE is restricting Zoom. So I didn't get into the final interview because there's like, it just continued to cut off, even if I had a VPN back then.
Okay.
So I didn't get it in April, but they opened it after a few months later, and then there, I got it. So it's really, really important to have that good crafted email. And for the CV, I mentioned earlier about the gone are the days for five
Two
pages.
pages.
I'm not really a graphic designer, so bear with me. This is my updated CV, but I'm not applying, so I just did it to show you guys. For sure, you can work on, you can have better design for yourself. So I did this in Canva. So what I've learned over the past years in working remotely is to have a title in here. So I put in there business, client, and customer service professional, digital nomad. So this is the way for clients to know who are you. So if you have to define what skills you really want to bank on. And then here's a quick summary in this area. And then work. In here, the work history, it's not necessary you put all of your work. It's not necessary to put all of the responsibilities you've done in that role because they will not read it. They will not read it. So you
Right.
have to just highlight which ones and then highlight the skills. Okay, highlight the skills. Highlight if you have online projects. If you notice, I've done virtual assistants, I've done data entry, web research. I also did article writing. Yeah. And of course, education, it's optional. It doesn't matter really. So what I'm trying to say is you really have to create a CV, your CV that is your gateway for a conversation.
Right.
So it's not necessary to put everything, and you really have to work on it on your own if you're good at writing or you're good with design. If not, you have to seek help of the professional. Because, for example, I've been looking for a job, but I haven't really gotten any interviews. Maybe because your CV is not really written
It's not
well.
attractive. Like I was
Yeah.
facing the same issue like earlier, like when I was applying for jobs before, then it was like really hard for me. Like I had like 3 pager, then I'm like, what should I do? Created 1 pager, but I was not satisfied with like the CV as well. Like I got like some feedback like, no, this is not good, it's not informative, or it's
Mhm.
not that creative. So then I
So
stopped
if you're a
creating.
person, who's good in writing and creating a CV, there's actually a market for that. Might as well
All
offer
right,
that service and ask people to pay for it. So there's
that's great.
one website, one company that I've seen, it's CV Coach. So they are helping people to um, have or create a CV for that fits to the role that they are applying. And
Is this the
again,
paid one, right? The paid.
yes, that is the paid
So
one.
do
So
you have
if you
any free ones? Like Canva is the one we can create for free. That's what it is,
yes,
right?
if you can do it on your own, much better. Do it on your own.
That would be like, I
So
think it's good.
yeah, and it's really good to try new things by yourself, so you can learn.
All right, that's
So
something really
yeah.
important. Something really interesting about CVs as well. like I was really bad at it, and still I'm like not that great with content writing as well. So like I always take help from the others like who are really good with it. So that way it's like, thank you so much, Ruth, like for, it was really, really informative towards CVs about how to apply for jobs. I would like to ask like people like attendees, like if just in case you have any questions you would like to ask, because I think we are running out of time now.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can ask Ruth about it, or we'll be sending you a feedback form. You can write your question there, and then on our social media, we're going to post those questions again. So just in case if you have questions, you can just write it down here if you want to talk to Ruth about something. And before that, Ruth, do you want to just give any suggestions to our attendees, our participants towards remote
Yeah,
working?
sure. I just want to end this presentation. Just number one, be open to change. Okay. Number two, be proactive. Regardless of whether you've already got the job or you're still, looking for a job, be proactive and know your worth. Know your worth. Not because the market says that you're worth $3, you cannot go above $3. No, you have to know your value and use that value to create your worth, your rate. Be flexible because you can be doing email marketing and at the same time you can do design. So really have to be flexible and find your tribe. This is important. Finding the like-minded people around you, like this community. Like this community is helping us to achieve more, to grow more, to be more. So really find the right people and keep learning. You have to keep learning. If reading doesn't work for you, you can try audio. What's that? Audible.
Audible, yeah.
Yeah.
Audible is also
Or
helpful. Yeah.
yes, or you can listen to podcasts or watch videos, whatever works for you. Just keep learning. And also, I just want to mention this because Airbnb, Twitter, and Google, they've already announced that they're allowing their staff to work from home. What does it mean? If big companies are doing this, for sure other businesses are going to do this. And that means a lot of opportunities will be on the way. It's just a matter of how and when you want to be part of it. So maybe start learning and don't wait for the opportunity to come. Create opportunities for yourself.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's it.
Ruth, we have like two quick questions about CVs. What you have mentioned. So one of the guys he's asking about the way of a question is how we can sell our services in 1 or 2 pages.
You have, I forgot to mention this, that you should not create a generic CV. You really have to revise it based on the position or the role that you would like to take.
So it's like every time you have to keep on editing, like as per
Yes,
the roles you are doing it.
yes, that's right.
Okay,
Because
and there's
some things may not be irrelevant,
right,
so it will only take the whoever, the recruiting or the client, to read it and then waste
right. I think like there's a last question now. Is it working remotely does not show body language? Is it then difficult for business development to actually showcase their product?
Sorry, I must not show body language. Is it difficult for business development? Yes, that's a challenge, but that's why we really have to be creative on how we can present ourselves by having a great email. There are a lot of ways how you can present yourself. Um, Not only by using a video, because like for example, in my position right now, I'm working as an event coordinator and I'm reaching out to mayors, to legislators in Canada, and it's difficult. It's really difficult. So I have to make sure that my email is crafted in a way that I can get them to say yes to present in our
But
event.
I think it has to be like very precise and short so that the readers read the emails as
Yes.
well.
And there's one thing I've learned in copywriting. The first part of email or whatever article, any written form, it must catch the attention of your audience.
Right, that's true.
So it can continue reading what you have. The same goes with your cover letter.
Right. Ruth, there's one question. Any good sites for translations for freelancers? Any that translates?
I've only
Which one?
seen in Facebook groups.
For the
I
Facebook group.
haven't really tried doing the translation, so I'm not really sure about it. So, but I've seen one in, not really one, but I've seen a lot of opportunities in Facebook groups. So if you want to join Facebook groups, you can might as well use the keywords remote, freelance, um,
And I
virtual,
and
online, those keywords.
I was using this website earlier. Also, we mentioned about which are there in UAE, mostly expert in, and freelancer.com. So freelancer.com also, it's like it's really helpful. Plus the expert in as well. There are like a
Mhm.
couple more applications they are coming in. They've been in developing mode where I think like by the end of the year people are gonna launch about which are
Mhm.
into events. So anyway, thank you so much for your time, Ruth. Guys, I think like we are like really like we have extended our times. Just I want to mention one last thing before we end our webinar session. Thank you so much for coming in. But there is something that I would like to say is, no matter what, you are sitting at home, you are depressed, you are procrastinating towards when events gonna start, or life outside when it starts. It all starts from within. Like even I, like at the time like when events stopped working, I was like really like we as a company, we started 1 year back. For us it was kind of really challenging when we see like, oh shit, now our events are canceled, like continuously like 10 conferences got canceled and we didn't have anything else. But then we realized that how come we can come and support our community also and can be with them as well. So meeting each other, talking to each other, we understood like, yeah, every single person here has some capabilities and it's all hidden. They don't want to showcase it because they might be shy or they haven't tried it. So I think like for every single person, it's good. You can go to TikTok, maybe like there you can express your feelings and people can like it. Then you might feel like, oh shit, yeah, I can do something great. Or you can start talking to more people, write some content, go online and learn something. So these things are really, really helpful for every single one of us. If you have some ideas, you think like you are not able to do it, or you can't able to implement it, we are there. There are different agencies also, there are different companies also. If you're working with them and you feel like it's more comfortable, we can go forward and talk to them as well. So this platform is for you guys. Whenever you have anything, you want something else to come up, any challenge to come up, you can come and talk to us so we can arrange that thing for you. So it's like we all are working together, we all are in this together, we all are suffering, but still I think if you'll be strong enough and we'll hold each other's hands, so we can do something really great. There's one thing I want to say, like we are doing an activity which I think gonna be live in less than a week time. That's something like I never thought about it, that like we guys can actually do, like because we sent a message to some people, they accepted that challenge and they are working on it. And I'm so happy and it's great to see that every single person, whether that person is for 5 years old or that girl is like 18 years old and someone is like 42 years old, every single person has some skills in them. Even if they don't have to, they practice, they will bring up the best thing out from them. That's what we have witnessed. And I'm not joking. I'm not just saying this because it's remote working or you just work more about it. It's just like you can actually achieve things. So just keep working hard and keep learning things. Yeah. So do not like what Ruth wants to say something about it.
No, I'm just happy to share what I know to these amazing people. You really deserve this session and more sessions to come. So thank you so much for being patient, even if we're, we passed the
10
time.
minutes.
But anyway, if you don't know what you want yet, or you don't know what skills you're good at, try as much as you can. Do the approach of elimination. And never overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You
Yeah.
are better than you think. That was Tim Ferriss said, and I believe that. So believe in
Good.
yourself, keep creating, just continue what you're good at. So continue
Yeah.
doing what you're good at and what makes you happy, what motivates you. So thank you
Exactly.
so much from me.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Ruth, for this wonderful knowledge-based webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Uh, Take care. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, guys. Bye, Ruth. Thank you so much, Ruth. Take care. Bye-bye.